School, the house is a little busy this morning, and I trust you understand. This is Coffee Talk on a Monday morning. It is September 4th. It is Labor Day, and already I'm just kind of like, I'm going to be honest, I'm a little frustrated. I pulled up the Hurricane Center webpage to check on what was going on with Invest 95. Lo and behold, I guess somehow it had an old version loaded, so I tweeted out incorrect information. So I've deleted that. I apologize. I guess that's what happened. So anyway, it's not a 100% chance of development, and advisories going later today on Invest 95. We'll get to that and look at the actual numbers. Thank you to Kellyanne Class for texting and being like, what's going on over there? So anyway, with that, let's just take a minute and say good morning to you. We all have our days where you're like, the webpage didn't refresh or whatever. Jennifer, Joseph, good morning. Frank, how are ya? Joy, Jan, Marie, Danielle, Ben up there, WPTZ. Good morning, Ben Frechette, sitting in the room this morning. Good morning to you, bud. All right, let's do this thing on a beautiful Labor Day morning. Look at that tower cam. That's New Smyrna Beach. And already at 8:03, there are people lining up. See the camera bouncing around a little bit? We, my friends, have a nice, fresh breeze around. It feels outstanding. And not only, by the way, not only does it feel outstanding because of the breeze, but like, let's just take a minute and look at this muggy meter, okay? This is not full on fall, but man, this is a little bit of a reprieve. Dew point temperatures in the lower 60s today. Pleasant. Tomorrow, Wednesday, will start to climb, and then by Thursday, we're back to humid. It's very fitting because a lot of places up north, this is the weekend where like things shut down. Florida's a year-round place, right? But we've got the appetizer, the little gummy bear of fall that we were able to just kind of taste. So it's delicious. We're going to enjoy it. Absolutely a beautiful, beautiful morning. Jenny, good morning. Thanks for saying hi on the line to Disney Eyes. I'm just glad you said hi. Good morning to you. We loved it. I hope you guys did as well. Beverly, good morning. Marie, Susie, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Frankie says hi from Puerto Rico. Good morning, friend. Let's watch the tropics closely over by you. So it's beautiful. It feels great outside. Here's a look at temperatures, okay? 69 degrees in the villages. I feel like we need to get that thermometer going. I don't know. I mean, is it still the upper 60s there? Perhaps. We're at 78 in Orlando, though. I feel like things are going to be climbing, right? Why? I'm trying to... Okay, that's taken care of. 73 in Claremont, 78 in Orlando. Let's check this. Hold on a second. My 5-minute obs. Let me force that again. Don't know that ran properly yesterday, so I'm going to rerun that right now. It's going, getting the data. Looks like it got stuck at some point. Going, adjusting, tweaking. And failed. Awesome. Interesting. All right, let me go to the other version of the observations. 02/2023. My intensity models are failing. That's what's happening here. Why is this always happening when I'm trying to come on here? All right, I'm going to go to the other temperatures then. There we go. 75 in Orlando, 74 degrees in Sanford, 72 in Palm Coast. Okay. I don't know why things are getting glitchy in the system recently. First morning live Doppler radar scanning around, looking great this morning. We look out to our 12-hour forecast, and it's going to be a mostly dry day. Partly cloudy skies, a nice firm breeze running 10 to 15 miles per hour. It's going to look great. It's going to feel great. Yeah, this is a great day. This is a great day. Yukon, it's been beautiful out in Melbourne the last few mornings and days. Oh, for sure it has, right? For sure it has. Low Tor is asking about updates on Invest 95. Absolutely. We'll take a look at that just a little bit. So for today, we'll get to about 90 degrees. Let's take a look at our high temperature today. and around Central Florida, I would just say this, that each of the next couple of days, we're going to start to see these temperatures sneak up just a little, like back to 90 degrees today. But looking ahead to tomorrow, okay, tomorrow's morning low temperature, we'll wake up to temperatures in the northwestern areas again in the 60s, so that's looking good, not bad. We look at Wednesday, not bad. We'll wake up to temperatures in the 70s, but you can kind of see that gradual trend is getting warmer and warmer and warmer. So there you go, kind of little by little, we're getting back to Central Florida standards. It's comfy, though. Right now, it's comfy. That area of high pressure kind of hanging out, keeping us beautiful. But late week, as that high shifts around a little bit and turns our winds to more of like a southerly direction, we're going to stay comfy, but you're going to start to see the humidity levels rise just a little bit. So, as long as you're prepared for that, as long as you know, we're not in full-on summer mid to upper 90s, but low to mid 90s, definitely in the ballpark. All right, so here we go. Today, 90 degrees, mostly dry conditions. Tomorrow, about the same. Notice though, Wednesday, Thursday, as that area of high pressure shifts further to the south, it gives us from kind of an east-northeasterly breeze to more of a southeasterly breeze, and that's where we start to see those temperatures climbing. And it's still technically summer, so we can't get too frustrated at that. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns about our kind of weather scenario this morning? Otherwise, it's going to be time for us to go and play Tropics a little bit. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns? I'll take them. Taylor says it's just keeping you on your toes. That's the thing that I actually don't understand, if I'm honest with you, is I thought that I turned off the intensity for the other. So we've got 5 systems. So the way that we work in the tropics, we got 5 systems, and the other systems that aren't in existence right now are having issues. And so I just don't understand why it's trying to even go parsing the other systems. That's the thing. I thought I turned them off. So I'm watching the script right now, and it's not running them, so that's good. All right, I'll take your questions. How is the weather Friday? Friday looks like it's going to be hot as blazes, up to about 94 degrees. All right? Driving on 75 yesterday, the sign overhead said hurricane warning in effect, Debbie said. The other thing I can think of is that's just left over from Idalia, which thank goodness is done and over with. Yeah. Cheryl over on YouTube. Love the dry and comfy temps. Good morning, y'all. Good morning to you, Cheryl. It's a lovely start to the day. Absolutely. Jessica on YouTube. It was nice to get a small taste of fall. I agree. Let's savor that flavor. Let's enjoy it. Do our thing. All right. So I need to turn my sprinklers this week. Yeah, and it's going to be expensive. And it's going to be, yeah, right? Like, that's not necessarily what we want. It's going to be expensive. Yeah, sorry. I apologize. Sounds like a good pool day. May make some ribs for Labor Day meal. Ooh, that sounds fantastic. I like that. Great to see the 70s. What am I doing for Labor Day? We have to figure that out. I'm going to go see my mom. I know that. Chris, my Tempest is not working yet. I haven't bought a new hub yet. I need to go do that. Yeah. All right. Ooh, Yukon says burgers and dogs. I like the way you think. I think I'm going to go to the beach today. All right. Enough about all that. Shall we chat about the tropics? We got a lot to talk about, and I'm going to be your tour guide. Hi. It's a busy day, and I'm your tour guide. All right, so let's take a look. This is Invest 95, center of your screen. Convection continuing to bubble up little by little. I will just say this. That's a decent wave, and the models are going to continue to show development here, and we'll look at all of that. But for now, a high likelihood over the next 2 days' time and a high likelihood over the next 7 days' time. Quoting the Hurricane Center, environmental conditions are favorable to be conducive for further development, and this system is expected to become a tropical depression around midweek. Additional strengthening is likely late week, while the system moves west-northwest. I will tell you, the models love developing this system. And when I say that, that red blob is where we think it's going to form. Okay? Let's look at the quote-unquote spaghetti plots, the ones that everybody sees and knows. Kathy says recurve, dang it. Yeah, I agree. So there's the spaghetti model plots, the tropical models. When you see that, that just means, yeah, we're going to have to pay attention. Right? Right. But in addition to that, look at the intensity model plots. They are going gangbusters. I'm going to bring it full screen here, just for perspective purposes. Cat 4 is in orange, and they're like right there. You know, so you're talking Cat 2, Cat 3 by Saturday, right? Yeah, that's a decent little hurricane. All right, now we haven't had like a massive hurricane heading to us yet this year, so I need to go over my directions on how to guide people. That was just a random piece of paper. Listen. Step 1, we don't freak out. Roman numeral 2, calm down. Letter C, relax. We live in paradise, okay? And the problem with living in paradise is that we have to watch the tropics. All right? So let's break down and let's look at some raw model data. That's bad. The stronger they are, the more they head north. Ryan says, that's not bad. The stronger they are, the more they head north. Correct. Weaker storms go west. It just depends how far west it goes before it gets stronger. Absolutely meteorologically correct. 100% there. All right. So before anything else, let's just take a look at kind of the timeline. Now, we put this graphic together a couple of years ago, and I think that it's a great graphic because it illustrates time to the United States, assuming it's heading directly for you, which we're not saying it is. Time to the United States and where it sits right now. Okay, where it sits right now, you know, you're talking like 10 to 12 days out. Even if it forms out here near the Caribbean islands, you know, you're talking about a week's time. So suffice it to say that even if it develops late week, we still have time to watch it, okay? And that's important because time gives you an opportunity to understand what's going on, to dial down a forecast, etc., etc., etc. So let's take a look at the raw computer model data together, okay? This is the raw GFS. This is the most recent run. And I'm going to switch out. Usually I look at the pressures, but in this case, I'm just going to look at winds, all right? Because there you can see it kind of coming alive there at the bottom of the screen and working. And at least according to the GFS, it stays just north of the Caribbean islands. So there it is, maximum sustained winds according to this. According to the GFS, 130 miles an hour. So it's got it as a pretty potent storm and then recurving. And just to give you an idea, like that's 120 mile per hour wind storm. In the event that it's there, obviously that's close for comfort. And that's why, you know, you're going to see some hypers that are going to be like, it's coming for us. And you're going to see some people that are like, we need to watch the model data. And I encourage you to watch the people that say, we're going to watch the model data. Because we know the pattern. Listen, if you follow me a long time, you know that I put out a long-range forecast. And my long-range forecast, even if it stays way off the shoreline, to me, that's a win. Because the storm is where-ish it's supposed to be when it's supposed to be there. I don't want this coming here. So I don't want you to get anything that I say mixed around. Okay? But around September 12th, according to the GFS, you're going to have a pretty significant hurricane off of the East Coast. And then from there, the hurricane like wobbles ashore. I mean, who knows? So that's the current run of the GFS. Let's go back one run. All right. And that's 114 mile per hour. Let's go back two runs. It's a 105, 110 mile per hour hurricane. So you could see and then it's going into the Carolinas. And then you go back 3 runs. So we've got consistency, if nothing else, that there's going to be a hurricane somewhere nearby. We don't know yet where it's going to be. All right? But the GFS is pretty much like, hey, heads up, you may have some stuff to track. Okay, so let's read it for what it is. There's some stuff to track. Frank, that Category 6, I don't even think it's going to be around. Like, there's Florida on September 6th, by the way. Like, no Category 6 heading to Florida on September 6th, like that girl was saying. All right, so that's the GFS. Let's switch over and let's look at the European. Okay. The 6Z does not go out far enough, so we have to go to the 0Z. But there's the 0Z. And I got to tell you, right off the bat, the thing that stands out to me about the Euro is that it is stupid strong with this storm. Remember I was saying the GFS was showing winds of like 105, 110, 120? That's strong. The European right there on that image is showing a 100, almost 160 mile per hour hurricane. Whoa. Much stronger. Much stronger. Much stronger. The 0Z, I mean, that's 175 mile per hour winds right there, according to the European. And that's the 0Z. So the European is going a little nutty with intensity. And then the Canadian, for anecdotal purposes, the Canadians got it as like 84 mile per hour winds. But all of the models are showing a hurricane somewhere nearby. So what does that mean? Tell me what you think, Burris, right? Like, dance. There's going to be a hurricane nearby. That's what I'm picking up. I'm picking up what it's putting down. All right, let's look at the ensemble plots. Now, if you're not familiar with the ensembles, think of this as the GFS. This is like 50 versions of the GFS kind of overlaid on top of each other just to give us an idea of the spread within the model. All right, so none of these ensemble members, there's the individual ensemble members. None of these ensemble members for now are bringing it to us. All right, all the ensemble members are keeping it off the shoreline. And they're at varying degrees of intensity. I see 977 millibars, 969, 983, 970, 994. And this is just another way to look at it. You know, there's just different visualizations, right? But all the GFS ensemble members are keeping it off the shoreline. If we go back one run, they were a little more spread, but all off the East Coast. 2 runs ago, a little more spread, but all off the East Coast. 3 runs ago, spread, but off the East. So for now, all of the GFS ensemble members are basically keeping it off of our East Coast, okay? All right, let's back it up, and let's look at the European ensembles. All right, there they are. And here's that visualization. And they're all off the East Coast as well, right? Now but that's 950 millibars, 955, 939. The Euro is a much stronger storm system. Let's look at the Canadian ensembles. Yeah, mostly off our East Coast. There's a couple it looks like that kind of stagger into Florida a little bit. So for now, the best guidance we have is that it should stay off of our East Coast down the pike. But this is a part of the pattern that we do know that we need to watch. And again, this is not me wish casting. I'm just telling you that in March we put out our long-range hurricane forecast, and we knew that there was going to be a system nearby the Florida East Coast around these dates. And each time there was a little something. In May, non-tropical, July, non-tropical, but September 8th through the 14th, we've got highlighted as kind of around the East Coast of Florida, and that times out with this. I hope that it stays off the shoreline and is just a fish storm, certainly. But I would just say, listen, we need to watch and keep eyes on it, okay? But you're doing that for ratings. I'm off today. I'm not getting paid for today. But here we are doing Coffee Talk today. So you tell me what I'm doing. I think I'm informing. You don't see an advertisements. You don't, that's for Coffee Talk. And even when you see it on TV, it's not like we're changing our strategy and doing weather. We're just always informing. That's what we do. Do you think it could possibly be another Matthew if it changes and rides our coast? It's possible, Yukon, your ratings on Facebook are up. What do I benefit? I make $0.00 from it. Patricia, I love this. Who cares? Patricia, you're so funny. Patricia says, who cares what other people say? I'm here to listen to you. And for that, I thank you. Thank you very much. What about that other thingy off the coast of Africa? Yeah, there's another thingy. It looks like for now that one should want to recurve, though. That little thingy. And then you've got Katia, now a tropical depression, and Gert, sweet little Gert out there. So we're still very much in active hurricane season mode. No doubt about it. Yeah. You shouldn't have to explain trying to help. Well, Cheryl, life shouldn't be as hard as it is sometimes, but here we are, right? Don't mind the doubters, and cheers from some freshly... Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, freshly brewed Pilon is always where it's at. Becky, thank you. Danny, what's the factors that would be steering this storm around that odd pause and turn to the north? All right, so Danny, let's go back to the raw model data. Give me a few seconds to turn the graphic around. I'm just going to go to the GFS, and we'll go to upper air heights. We'll go to the basin. So essentially, if we go back, you've got the storm south. So let's just go back. You've got the Bermuda High trying to do its thing, right? Let me just see if I can find a decent... So you've got the Bermuda High, and then you've got these other little tropical things, right? So the thing is that these little tropical things are going to put weaknesses in the Bermuda High. And then it's at the same time right there, you see the Bermuda High. So that thick dot just north of Puerto Rico, that's this storm that we're talking about, okay? Just north of it, you see that orange shade, that's the Bermuda High. Then, at the same time, there's a little trough, a little cold front digging down through the, the Smokies, essentially. And that's a weakness. That's the weakness in the Bermuda High that would allow it to feel a recurvature. And then in this case, go up to the northeast United States. So it's just a matter of the placement of that trough, that cold front over the deep south, and the placement of the Bermuda High when it gets there. So if you look, it finds it and picks it up. See that there? It's just a matter of that exact timing. So that's stacking the atmosphere. That's the way that it is. The Bermuda High is going to keep it going west, and then as soon as it finds a weakness, it's going to recurve, particularly because it's stronger. If it's stronger, it wants to recurve. So it's just a matter of where is that weakness? It finds said weakness, and then, of course, it does its thing and recurves. Yeah. Jamie, I can't believe people get mad at you for doing Coffee Talk. I've watched a number of times for Tropical Info and never heard an ounce of hype from you. I'll always give you the data, but it's funny. I think, and I've found this even in the meteorological world, when people are like, I just can't believe the way TV's gotten, we have to hype hurricanes. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm going to level with y'all here. I've never, ever, ever had a boss tell me to hype hurricanes. Not once. And if they do, I quit. I have had a boss say, we need to be aggressive with coverage. And there is a huge difference. Being aggressive with coverage just means we need to be there for you because you want information. Being aggressive with coverage means adding weather hits. It's up to me, the meteorologist, to set the tone for that, right? I could hype it, and then it's aggressive hype. Or we're just putting more weather there and making sure to control and calm down the hype. That's the difference. That's the difference. And there's a big dang difference, let me just tell you. Paul says, new watcher, happy to share a coffee here. Oh, buddy, let's raise our cup together. Oh, God, it only goes down so smooth, doesn't it? Just goes down so beautifully. Bruce, I need my first sip of coffee. I'm still feeling half asleep. Wake up, son. Wake up. It's almost your busy season. Dickie says, I love your forecast from England. Hope there's nothing from the 16th until the 26th. We're on our way. Come on down. Hopefully this will all be done and over with. Yeah. So the timing will be the key with that front in the storm. Exactly, Danny. Exactly. What are the chances it won't curve north? I can't do that. Nobody can do that. You're talking, 7, 8, 9, 10 days out. Understanding the pattern is one thing. Understanding the long-range pattern is another thing. Understanding what will happen. If somebody tells you they know what's happening 100%, they're not right. They're not giving you good data. Joanne says, all data here. Eric Leaks over on YouTube. What does the BSR hinting at? All right, give me a second to get that turned around. So the BSR, if you're new here, the BSR is kind of a long-range technique that we use. And again, as long as you know, listen, I like thinking a little out of the box. So, and a lot of the meteorological community does not love that. But screw it. All right. So around the 24th and the 25th, it's definitely got a storm system in the deep south. Remember, nothing's perfect, but this lines up. That's. Let me just look at the dates here. That's September 11th, and it has a storm system in the area. Now, it's obviously you kind of see how it's doing it. That's the trough, right? But so if you've got like your strong trough, and then like piece of low pressure kind of riding up, that's around the 13th. It's I don't know. Is that the trough that steers it north, or is that the BSR hinting the area of low pressure? It's difficult. Either way, there's going to be a potent storm, whether it's that continental storm north of us or the tropical system around us. The BSR is showing a storm system, and then something else kind of riding up the east coast. So it may be that it's going to be a potent trough pulling that tropical system north of us. But notice, look where that, if that's the case, if the BSR's bombing low there is the cold front, and then the cold front lifts north, and then what you're seeing there east of Florida is the tropical system. Look where the tropical system goes. Into the northeast of the United States, which is what the GFS would indicate. So the BSR is showing activity. Exactly what that activity is, I can tell you, that's hard to see. But that's what the BSR is showing. Frank, thank you, buddy. I really appreciate it. Becca, my 11-year-old says, if Mr. Eric is not worried, I will not worry. This is a no-hype zone. This is a no-hype zone, and I'm not worried. Even if it was hitting us, I would not be worried. I would just be working to be prepared. But we're good. We're good. Yukon says, at this point, I think the coverage is good for folks and the business. Listen, we're here to inform. That's all. All right? That's it. That's all we're doing. You mean you don't get paid that big hurricane check? $0 extra and 0 extra cents, and we work our tuchuses off way more than we normally do. So, yeah, we don't love it. We don't love it. All right? All right. Time for me to turn hats and go back to being a dad. Today, one last time, tracking the tropics, sure. Otherwise, we're looking beautiful today. Partly cloudy skies, a fantastic Labor Day, 90 degrees, our high temperature. All right? All right, be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I'll see you guys and gals later, and I'll be tweeting and Facebooking through the day.